A world that demands our attention, that pulls at our emotions, that tries to dictate our reactions. It is a world full of noise, and often that noise comes from the people around us. They can be a source of frustration, of irritation, of anger, but the first lesson, the most fundamental truth, is that the storm is not the problem is our own lack of stillness. When someone bothers you, they are not giving you anger, they are giving you an invitation to anger. The question is, will you accept it? Every disturbance you feel in your mind is not caused by the other person. It is caused by the meaning you give to their words, their actions, their tone. The outside world does not have the power to reach inside your heart unless you open the door. Most people live in constant reaction. Someone says something sharp, and they feel cut. Someone disrespects them, and they feel diminished. But here is the truth. No one can truly diminish you unless you already believe that they can. Anger is not born in the other person, it is born in you. And because it is born in you, you have the power to not give it life. The Shaolin way is to see the provocation as a mirror. When you are bothered, ask yourself, what in me is reacting right now? Is it my ego? Is it my insecurity? Is it my desire for control? If you can see your reaction as your own creation, then you can stop feeding it. The moment you realize that the other person's words are only vibrations in the air and that your mind chooses the meaning, you begin to take your power back. In this way, when you face someone trying to irritate you, you will no longer see them as an enemy, you will see them as a teacher. They are teaching you where your patience is weak, where your mind is not yet free. Instead of answering anger with anger, you can choose stillness. And this is the true power, to stay unmoved when someone tries to move you. If a tree does not bend with the wind, it will break. But if it bends without losing its roots, it survives every storm. In the same way, you do not have to fight every word, every action, every insult. Bend, let it pass, and remain rooted in your inner peace. This is how you never get angry, by knowing that no one has the key to your emotions except you. Imagine a lake. When the wind blows, the surface is disturbed. Waves crash against the shore, and the reflection of the sky is shattered. But beneath the surface, the water is still. Deep down, the lake remains calm and unbothered. This is the nature of a trained mind. The external world, the words, the actions, the provocations of others, is merely the wind on the surface. We can choose to be the surface, reacting to every gust and ripple, or we can choose to be the depths of the lake, tranquil and unmoved. This is not a state of passivity, but of immense strength. The stillness of the lake is not a sign of weakness, it is the source of its power. A still mind sees clearly. It does not react from a place of immediate impulse, but from a place of considered wisdom. When someone bothers you, when their words are sharp or their actions are thoughtless, your mind wants to react, it wants to fight back, to prove a point, to defend your ego. But what are you defending? You are defending a fragile image of yourself, an image that is easily broken. When you find your stillness, you realize there is nothing to defend. Your true self, your inner peace, is not something that can be broken by the words or actions of another. It is an unbreakable foundation. The practice of stillness is the practice of observation. When you feel the heat of anger rising, do not push it away. Do not pretend it is not there. Instead, observe it, feel it. Where does it manifest in your body? Is it a tightening in your chest, a clenching of your jaw, a rush of heat to your face? Observe it as an outsider would observe a passing cloud. The cloud is there. You see its form, but you do not become the cloud. You are the sky, vast and unchanging, allowing the cloud to pass. This observation creates a space between the stimulus and the response. In that space, there is a choice. You can choose to be still, you can choose to let the provocation pass through you like wind through a forest. Nothing can move you unless you allow it. This is the way of the master. This is the discipline of the one who walks with silence, not as an escape, but as a weapon of inner strength. The still mind is the strongest mind. The still man is the most dangerous man, because he cannot be manipulated by emotion or broken by noise. He is a force of nature, unwavering and true. The second key is to understand that what others do is not about you. This is one of the most difficult and yet most liberating truths to grasp. When someone speaks to you with anger, when they lash out, when they are rude or dismissive, it is a reflection of their own internal world. It is their internal storm, not yours. They are a mirror reflecting their own pain, their own frustrations, their own insecurities. And if you absorb all of that, if you take their pain and make it your own, you lose your center. Think of a cup of tea. Someone pours a cup of bitter tea and offers it to you. You have a choice. You can drink it and become bitter yourself, or you can simply observe the bitter tea and decline to partake. Their anger is their bitter tea. When you personalize it, when you say they are angry at me, you are drinking their tea. You are internalizing their problem and making it your own. But what if you saw it differently? What if you saw their anger not as an attack on you, but as a cry for help, a sign of their own suffering? You don't have to fix their suffering, but you also don't have to become a part of it. The difference between an angry person and a peaceful person is not that one never feels the spark of irritation. It's that the peaceful person knows how to pause before the spark becomes a fire. If you want to never get angry when someone bothers you, learn to pause. When you feel provoked, your body reacts before your mind does. Your breathing changes, your muscles tense, your heartbeat rises. This is your body's alarm system. Most people ignore it and let it carry them into a reaction, but a master notices the alarm and chooses not to run toward the fire. Instead, he takes a breath. One deep, conscious breath can change the outcome of a situation entirely. It interrupts the chain reaction between the trigger and the explosion. It gives you time to remember, I am in control of my response. It allows you to see the situation more clearly, without the fog of adrenaline. This pause is not weakness, it is wisdom. Anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The pause is your way of putting the cup down before you drink. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. One day you will find that the pause is no longer something you have to force, it will be your automatic response. The world is full of people who are quick to react, quick to argue, quick to defend. Be the one who is quick to breathe, because in that breath lies your freedom from being controlled by others. They may still try to provoke you, but they will fail because you are no longer playing the same game. This is a shift in perspective. It requires a great deal of self-awareness. When you feel the urge to react, to defend yourself, to take things personally, pause and ask yourself, is this truly about me? Or is this a manifestation of their own inner turmoil? More often than not, you will find it is the latter. When you are grounded in your own purpose, when you are secure in your own skin, the opinions and actions of others lose their power. An attack on you is not about your personality. It is often a distraction from their own lack of purpose. It is a way for them to project their own failings onto someone else. The world does not need to change for you to be at peace. You can't control what people say, how they act, or the chaos around you. But you can always control how you respond. And that is where your real power lives. Not in reacting, not in proving a point, but in mastering your emotions so deeply that no one can steal your peace unless you hand it to them. The moment you stop allowing others to press your buttons, you stop being their puppet, you rise, you lead, you live from a place of power, not pressure. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's not passivity, it's presence. And it's not about avoiding life's storms. It's about becoming the calm within them. By not taking things personally, You build a shield of peace that no external force can penetrate. You protect your energy, you guard your focus, and you stay rooted in what you are here to do. Your life is driven by purpose, not provoked by people. This is the path to freedom. Many of us carry the weight of past anger, past hurts, past confrontations. We hold on to grudges, replaying arguments in our minds, fueling the fire of resentment, but this is a foolish and self-destructive act. Holding on to anger is like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Forgiveness is not about condoning the actions of others. It is about liberating yourself from the prison of your own resentment. Forgiveness is not a one-time event, it is a continuous practice. It is the conscious decision to let go of the emotional chains that bind you to another person's negative energy. When you refuse to forgive, you give that person control over your inner state. Their actions, their words, continue to haunt you long after the event has passed. True forgiveness liberates you from this emotional slavery. It opens the door to a lighter, freer existence. When someone bothers you, they often do it to control your emotions. They want to see if they can make you react, if they can pull you into their drama. And the truth is, every time you get angry, you give them the control they were seeking. Think of it this way. If someone can make you angry, they own you in that moment. They dictate your mood, your focus, your peace. But what happens if you refuse to react? If you smile instead? If you simply acknowledge what they said, but do not let it touch your inner state? Suddenly, the power returns to you. The Shaolin teaching says, control the inner world and the outer world will follow. When you master your mind, you stop being a puppet for other people's strings. You stop chasing every insult with a defense, every criticism with justification. You no longer need to prove yourself to those who live in conflict. Understand this clearly. People bother you because they believe you will respond. If you do not, they will eventually stop. And even if they don't stop, their attempts will no longer disturb you because you will see them for what they are. Noise. Just noise. And noise cannot harm you unless you invite it into your heart. When you no longer need to win every argument, you win the only battle that matters, the one inside, that is true victory. Consider the impermanence of all things. We arrive with nothing. We leave with nothing. Everything in between is temporary. Our possessions, our titles, even our bodies. The universe will teach you, sooner or later, that letting go is not optional, it's inevitable. We cling to our anger, to our sense of being wronged, as if it is a possession, but what a heavy, useless possession it is. The sooner you accept this truth, the lighter and freer your life becomes. Letting go is a powerful act. It is not about forgetting, but about choosing not to let the memory dictate your present. The practice of letting go is closely tied to mindfulness. By being present in the moment, you are less likely to be dragged back into the past by the ghost of a past argument. When a memory of an old hurt arises, acknowledge it, observe it, but do not feed it. Do not let it take root. See it for what it is, a fleeting thought, a memory, and then gently return your focus to the present. The present is where your power lies. The past is a story that has already been written. You cannot change it, but you can change how you relate to it. You can choose to close that chapter, to release the narrative of victimhood, and to step into the role of a master of your own mind. This is not about weakness, it is about strength. It is the strength to say, I will not let your actions define my peace. It is the ultimate act of self-love and self-preservation. By letting go, you reclaim your energy, your focus, and your right to live a life of peace. The mind that is filled with purpose and gratitude has no room for anger or frustration. An empty mind is a playground for every negative emotion. A mind that is constantly focused on what it lacks, on what is wrong, on the shortcomings of others, will inevitably be filled with anger. The key to never getting angry is not to fight the anger, but to fill your mind with something else. You cannot simply remove a thought, you must replace it. Anger is often the surface. Beneath it, there is pain, insecurity, or fear, both in you and in the person who provokes you. When someone bothers you, ask yourself, what pain are they carrying? It may be that their words are not about you at all, but about the storms in their own life. Compassion is a shield. It protects you from anger because it allows you to see the other person as human, flawed, and struggling just like you. It does not mean you agree with their behavior. It does not mean you allow disrespect. But it means you choose to understand instead of immediately react. When you shift from "why are they attacking me?" to "what might they be going through?" the space for anger shrinks. You realize that many people lash out because they have no other way to release their frustration. They may not even know they are doing it. You become less of a target because you are no longer playing the same emotional game. This is not softness, it is strength. It takes far more power to remain calm and compassionate than to explode in rage. Anyone can be angry. It requires no skill. But to be still in the storm, to extend understanding when others give hostility, that is the work of a disciplined mind. This is the power of gratitude. When we focus on what we are grateful for, our entire perspective shifts. Instead of getting caught up in what's wrong or what we don't have, we begin to focus on what is going well in our lives. This change in perspective not only boosts our emotional well-being, but also helps to maintain our peace even in difficult times. By constantly refocusing our attention on the positive aspects of life, we create a foundation of inner peace that can withstand external turbulence. The provocations of others become less significant when you are truly grateful for the blessings in your life. Their words are like small stones thrown at a great unmoving mountain. They may land, but they do not move the mountain. Similarly, a strong sense of purpose is an anchor in the storm. When you are clear on your mission, on your goals, on your deeper why, external distractions become less significant. You don't have time to be bothered by petty arguments or trivial slights. Your energy is too precious to waste. When you are grounded in purpose, your reactions begin to change. You don't take things personally because you realize the attack is not about your personality, it's about your assignment. The enemy doesn't waste weapons on people who aren't a threat. So when resistance shows up, when people push your buttons, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my energy or is this a distraction dressed as drama? You weren't called to win every argument. You were called to carry peace. You weren't sent here to prove your value to people. You were sent to walk in the value that is already within you. Let that be enough. Let your fruit speak louder than your frustration. Let your endurance speak louder than your ego. When you stay in purpose, you don't have to chase validation. Purpose is what keeps you steady when emotions rise and people disappoint. Every day you will face the choice: respond in the flesh or walk in purpose. Take the bait or keep building. You can't do both. So protect your calling, guard your focus, stay rooted in what you're here to do. When your life is driven by purpose, not provoked by people, you move with a power that no offense, no criticism, and no distraction can ever take away. Finally, the path to never getting angry at others is to see them not as adversaries, but as fellow travelers on the journey of life. This requires the cultivation of empathy and compassion. It is easy to be angry at an opponent, at someone who we see as bad or wrong. But it is much harder to be angry at someone whose suffering you can feel, whose pain you can understand. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It is the practice of stepping outside of your own perspective and trying to see the world through their eyes. A person who is constantly bothered, who is always lashing out, is often a person who is deeply hurting. Their anger is not a sign of strength. It is a shield, a defense mechanism born out of a sense of fear, of inadequacy, of pain. When you begin to see this, When you can look past the surface level anger and see the wound beneath, your own anger begins to dissolve. It is replaced by a sense of sadness, perhaps, but also a sense of understanding. The final step to never getting angry when someone bothers you is to live in such a way that your peace is unshakable. This is what I call the inner fortress. It is built from daily habits that strengthen your mind and spirit: meditation, mindfulness, physical training, gratitude practice. These are the bricks. When your inner world is strong, the outer world has little influence. Someone can insult you, and it will be like throwing a stone at a mountain. The mountain does not move. This strength is not built overnight. It comes from constant practice, from catching yourself each time you are about to react and choosing stillness instead. Make it your goal each day to leave every person better than you found them. Speak less when angry. Smile more when challenged. Guard your peace like a priceless jewel, because that is what it is. The moment you give it away to someone else's behavior, you have lost something you cannot buy back. Your mind is the temple. Do not let every passerby enter and light a fire inside. Protect it, honor it, strengthen it, and then, no matter who tries to bother you, you will remain unshaken, calm, centered, free. Compassion is the next step. It is the desire to alleviate the suffering of another. When you have compassion for someone, you cannot simultaneously be angry with them. The two emotions are mutually exclusive. This doesn't mean you must accept their behavior or allow them to continue to harm you. Boundaries are essential, but you can set those boundaries from a place of strength and compassion, not from a place of anger. You can say, "I understand that you are hurting, and I wish you peace, but I cannot allow your behavior to affect my own." This is a powerful and liberating statement. The ultimate practice is to see the humanity in every person, even those who seem to be trying their hardest to provoke you. Every person is a universe of complex experiences, of hopes and fears, of joys and sorrows. They are not simply a label, "the person who bothers me." They are a whole person, and their anger is just one small part of their story. By training your mind to see the whole person, you are training yourself to see beyond the temporary irritation, beyond the surface level conflict. You are training yourself to connect with the deeper, more profound truths of our shared humanity. This is not easy, and it takes a lifetime of practice, but it is the ultimate form of mastery, to be so grounded in your own compassion that the anger of others can no longer find a home in your heart. It is the final step on the path to true and unshakable peace.